Today is a special day. We will bring you with us to one of my favorite places in Sardinia. We will start the morning with a proper Italian breakfast before heading back home, where Caroline, my mom, and my daughter are preparing fresh pesto together. One of those small family moments that ends up becoming part of the trip itself. After that, we will stop by a local grocery store, which might sound ordinary, but it is actually one of the most interesting ways to understand a place. From the products to the atmosphere, everyday life here feels very different from what we are used to in the United States. Then, later in the day, we will drive to the beautiful town of Bosa, known for its colorful houses, riverside views, and the old castle overlooking the town from above. After that, we will head to one of our 5 favorite local restaurants in Bosa. Alright, this morning we're going to get some breakfast.
You can drive the scooter around.
And it's 9 a.m. And nothing, we're gonna go find a bar. Here in Italy, breakfast it's important, but it's not as important as in the States. So you don't eat savory much, like bacon, eggs, or any of that. But you eat a lot of sweet. That can be croissant, that can be craffen, and all of them are made the same day, made early in the day. This is what you get for a quick breakfast. You get very different kind of desserts. There are many. This is what we picked. Again, there are probably 20 or 30 different kinds of this. This is with whipping cream. This is with egg cream, and those are something traditional here in Sardinia.
Salute! Charlotte, what are we making, baby?
We're making pesto.
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 Pesto. Yeah. What are we making, Charlotte?
Pesto.
Pesto, amore. And who are we making pesto with?
Noni.
Nonna.
Amore!
Charlotte said pesto.
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 Amore, come brava.
And what are we going to do with all this? What do we put next?
We put cheese.
Cheese and what else?
We put flour, cheese, apples, and mushrooms.
No. We put oil, salt, olio.
This is a typical store here. This is called Conad. It's a typical grocery store. It's a little bit different than what we have in the States for a couple of reasons. First, it's significantly smaller, and this one really focuses on fresh products that can be whatever it is. It can be salad, fruit, a different kind of bread, and many different kind of bread. This is the inside part of the bread that's called mollica, and they remove the crust. And those are like specific bread that is made in Sardinia called piadina. All the bread, and this bread is made the same day. Here there are the different kind of cheese everywhere, mozzarella, etc. And this is called stracchino. It's one of the best cheese that you can get here. It's very soft, very soft and with a rich flavor. Those are the best treats that you can find here. They're called Kinder Feta Latte. They're just amazing. Now here we go into the wine section, but the big recommendation it's never to buy, at least here in Sardinia, not to buy wines already in the bottles. It's to go in places where they sell you the wine. You go with an empty bottle and they fill it, and that's one that they make it, and it's amazing. This is the department, the meat department. Now I gotta say that especially the meat we have, the meat that we have in Denver, it's in my opinion it's better than the meat you can find here. But you know, this is an island, and so here is better for fish. And just to give you an idea, this is a beef, 22 euros per kilo, which is 2 pounds. And then here there is a section for the pasta, as you guys can imagine. Just to give you an idea, the pasta barilla that we find in the States, is I think it's 400 grams usually. Here it's 500 grams, and you pay 97 cents of a euro, which is roughly, let's say, $1.10. It's a section dedicated to water. Water, it's a huge deal in Italy. And when I say huge deal, I mean that each water comes with a specific, properties in terms of nutrients, more than nutrients, in terms of salts, mineral salts, pH level, etc. And each brand has specific properties. And so what we do in Italy, we alternate. Every week or every 2 weeks, we pick a different type of water in order to get different kind of properties and nutrient and mineral salts, I would say. Just to give you an idea, you pay roughly 25 cents of a euro for 1 bottle of 1 liter and a half. We're heading to Bosa, and the drive from Alghero to Bosa is considered by many to be one of the most beautiful coastal drives anywhere in Sardinia. And once you are on the road, it is easy to understand why. For long stretches, the landscape feels completely untouched. No large cities, no heavy traffic, just cliffs, rolling hills, and the Mediterranean stretching endlessly beside you. What makes this road so special, in my opinion, is how quickly the scenery changes. One moment you are driving along dramatic coastal cliffs overlooking the sea, and just a few minutes later, the road curves inland through hills and small valleys that feel almost completely isolated from the modern world. It is a kind of drive where the journey itself becomes part of the experience. Historically, this coastline has always been important. For centuries, these waters were crossed by merchants, fishermen, and sailors, connecting Sardinia with mainland Italy, Spain, and the rest of the Mediterranean. Even today, driving through this part of the island, you still get the feeling that Sardinia has its own rhythm. Slower, quieter, and more connected to nature than many places on the mainland. There is also something very raw about this road. Unlike many famous coastal drives around the world, that are heavily developed or crowded with resorts, much of this coastline still feels wild. You can drive for long stretches without seeing much at all besides the sea, the hills, and the occasional small village in the distance. And honestly, that's part of what makes it memorable. This town is called Bosa, and is roughly 1 hour far from Alghero.
Oh my goodness! This castle. What's this one?
People live here, of course. See, this is an apartment where you come from here and then you have your room there. It's very, very, very characteristic. Oh, look! Look at Stuffy!
Another one.
Oh, this is so cute, babe.
See, that's the entrance. That's the entrance to the house.
Say something and they forget. They keep still right
La Torre del Pozzo. See, Mare? This is an hotel. This is just beautiful. It's so characteristic. Here is a fun fact. There is a reason why Bosa looks so different from many other towns in Sardinia. For centuries, families painted their homes in bright colors, partially as a way to distinguish one house from another, especially in the older parts of the town, where the streets are extremely narrow and buildings are packed closely together. Over time, those colors became part of Bosa's identity. Another fun fact is that the streets here are so narrow intentionally, not just because of limited space, but also for protection. In medieval times, narrow streets made towns easier to defend and more difficult for invaders to navigate. They also helped create shade during the hot Sardinian summers, which even today makes walking through the old town surprisingly comfortable. Mommy, look! For the plants.
Oh, how pretty. Oh, there's a grapevine. Look at the grapes.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Mom, where are the grapes? That person must be
This is
so
a
lucky.
whole
And you know where they come from?
the ground.
Okay.
Mom, where
so
are
pretty.
the where are the
Look up. This whole vine right here.
There is the grape
guys?
tree.
Go into the room.
That's the tree. Beautiful. As we walk through the street of Bosa, one of the most fascinating parts of the town isn't just the architecture of the colors, it is the traditions that are still quietly alive here today. In a few seconds, we will see a few footages of us speaking with a lady that was actually making tablecloth. What you're about to see, as mentioned, is a very old craft that has been passed down through generations and generations of women in Bosa, from mother to daughter. Using techniques that date back centuries, women here traditionally created handmade tablecloth, curtains, decorative fabrics, and much, much more. And all of that by hand. And interestingly, many of these techniques were closely connected to the town's relationship with fishing and the sea. Here the lady explained that the process you see is actually shares similarities with the way fishing nets were once made. The movements, the knots, and the weaving patterns follow many of the same principles used by fishermen for generations along the Sardinian coast. Over time, those practical techniques slowly evolved into decorative craftsmanship.
So that lady we talked to, she explained that the houses here are built like vertically, where every door you see, like the majority of the instances, every door you see, it's for one family, a single family house. Are developed vertically. An example here, this house, it's at the bottom, usually you have the kitchen, then you have one bedroom or two, and then you have another bedroom or two, and then finally you have your, most of the time you have an attic, you have a balcony on the ocean. But look at these colors. This place is famous for having these houses with all the different colors. Look at the colors of this. That's another example of that house. There is a door where you get inside. Usually, again, there is the kitchen, and then there is one room, second room, third room, and then you have the balcony. And that is the last floor of these houses. Have that balcony where you see the ocean.
Alright, we are heading up to the castle. Now, coming to the right, you will see a river. Bosa is especially unique compared to many other towns in Sardinia because of its relationship with the river that you can see right there, the Temo River, which is actually the only navigable river in Sardinia. Historically, this made Bosa an important trading and commercial center. Goods could move inland through the river, while the castle above protected the area from attacks coming from the sea.
Are you scary yet?
That's a castle.
After making our way through the narrow streets and climbing to the very top of the hill, we finally arrive at one of the most iconic places in Bosa, Castello Malaspina. Standing up here, it is easy to understand why this location was chosen centuries ago. The castle overlooks the entire town, the river below, and the surrounding coastline. From this position, almost everything could be seen long before anyone approached the city. Coming to the right is a small church called the Church of Our Lady de Sos Reinos Altos, which contains rare medieval frescoes dating back several centuries. It is one of the hidden treasures of the castle and a reminder that these fortresses weren't only military spaces. They were also places where communities lived, prayed, and spent everyday life. The castle dates back to the 12th century, when it was built by the powerful Malaspina family, a noble family originally from northern Italy. At the time, controlling strategic high points like this was essential, especially in Sardinia, where coastal towns were constantly exposed to attacks and invasions arriving from the sea. And this hill wasn't chosen for beauty alone, it was chosen for defense. From up here, the view stretches in every direction. You can see the colorful houses of Bosa below, the river cutting through the town, and the hills surrounding the valley. On a clear day, the visibility from the castle is just incredible. Any approaching ships or enemy forces would have been spotted long before they reached the town. Over the centuries, the castle became much more than a military structure. It slowly shaped the development of Bosa itself. People began building homes around the hill, creating the town that still exists today. In many ways, the castle became the heart around which everything else grew. And if you have watched my previous video, where we explored the Castel Sardo, the concept was very similar. There was a castle on top of a hill, and then all around the town was built. One of the most fascinating things about this place is how naturally it blends into the landscape. The stone walls almost seem like an extension of the hill itself. Even after hundreds of years, the structure still feels imposing, especially when walking through the towers and defensive passages. And as you move through the castle, you can almost imagine what life might have been like here during medieval times. Guards constantly watching the horizon, narrow passageways designed for protection, and life inside these walls centered around security and survival. The castle still watches over the town exactly as it did hundreds of years ago. The river still flows through the valley, and the colorful houses below still climb the hillside beneath these ancient walls. Places like this remind you how layered Sardinia really is.
Now we just went down from the castle. Here there is a quite big river. It's one of the biggest here in Sardinia. But then this river ends in the ocean, straight in the ocean. In fact, there are these boats here, and the best part is that this water it's predominant fresh water, at least at this stage. And so here are the boats, and then they go to the ocean. This is our restaurant. We booked now a nice table here. This is the beautiful restaurant. Thank you. The restaurant. And that's the view. So we are at this restaurant called Verde Fiume, Green River, in Bosa. And what we always recommend to grab here in Italy, it's wine. That is the one most of the time restaurants carry their own wine, and this is what we've done. This is a Vermentino, and you don't buy that. I recommend not buying that in bottles, but buy that in their own wine, and they fill this bottle for you, and you drink it. You pay roughly $9-10 for half of a liter, and you try different kind of wines in every place you go. This is what we got. We got fregola, which is like couscous with seafood, and then we got for the babies some raviolis.
I was not going to eat it. I was
A
going to
plate
eat
like
that.
this for 2 people, which is a lot of food, costs around 40
Is it so
euros
hard?
for 2 people with fresh seafood caught the same day.
Thank you so much for watching and being part of this journey with us. This is a series and is far from over.